Hi, it's me, Shakti Sundari, and I'm here for day 3 of reading of the Radiance Sutras. I've been waiting for the right moment to broadcast today, and yeah, it's been a little bit tricky because a couple of reasons why. I'm feeling really vulnerable today. My moon cycle arrived yesterday, and with that has arrived a real sense of vulnerability and a heaviness around my heart. I'm used to this often happens around the time of my moon cycle, but still it's a time where I feel very insular or introverted, like really wanting to be within myself and with myself, and honor the depth of my emotions and my feelings and a sense of great tenderness that is often with me. And so, particularly when I'm feeling like this, my inclination is to be by myself, with myself, and to hide a little bit from the world in a way. Not really feeling social, not really feeling like connecting so much with others and with the world. So I was wondering how it would be to talk about the Radiance Sutras from this place of how I am today. And then also just in terms of my life, I've got my kids with me this weekend and another friend's child who's staying with us, and so I've been occupied and busy taking care of them and being in that role. And looking for a space, looking for a gap where I can go and be somewhere quiet, because that is what I'm feeling, wanting to be quiet. And I have instead had to go out and be in public places, and I really wasn't enjoying it. But anyway, now I am quiet and enjoying being in my own space again. So now is the time to speak to the Banter verses from the Radiance Sutras. And again, I've looked briefly at what the Banter verses are for today, but I'm kind of not wanting to look ahead in a way, because I quite like to just read fresh in the moment and see what arises as I read. But I noticed the last couple of days when I've read that the radiance of the verses has really infused me. And I'm wondering how it is going to be today, because I'm not feeling effervescent. I'm feeling a heaviness, I'm feeling a deep vulnerability, I'm feeling a sadness, I'm feeling a bit of a disconnect from everything or everyone but those most intimate and close to me. So it's a very different space. But I'm also wanting to really honor that and make this a journey for me and for any of you who might be watching this, of truth and authenticity. So this is the realness of my being in this moment today. So we're with Banter verses 5 to 6 today, and this is the third day of reading. So once again, I'm going to read to you the Sanskrit. So this, for anyone who's tuning in now and hasn't watched the first 2 broadcasts, this is the introduction to the Radiant Sutras, the translation by Laurence Rocher, and the Banter verses are the introduction as Shakti speaks to Shiva and asks him with curiosity about life, meaning the universe, and then he answers and offers 112 meditations, which are part of the wealth of tantric teachings. So here's the Sanskrit from Banter verses 5 to 6. Paraa paraya sakalama paraya chava puna. Paraya yadi tut vatsyat paratvam tat virudyatye. Nahi varna vibedana dehebedna vabhavet. Paratvam nishkalatvena sakalatvena tat bhavet. Prasaram kurine nata nishesham chindi samshayam. The sounds are so beautiful. And then the English translation. Shakti speaks to Shiva. What is this power we call life, appearing as the play of flesh and breath? How may I know this mystery and enter it more deeply? My attention is enthralled by a myriad of forms, innumerable individual entities everywhere, flashing into existence and fading away again. Lead me into the wholeness beyond all these parts. Do me a favor, my love. Let me rest in your embrace. Refresh me with the elixir of your wisdom. Ravish me with your truth. And as I breathe those words in, yes, I do feel their potency, their power, the longing of Shakti to know and merge with truth. And I'm going to read it again. What is this power we call life, appearing as the play of flesh and breath? How may I know this mystery and enter it more deeply? My attention is enthralled by a myriad of forms, innumerable individual entities everywhere, flashing into existence and fading away again. Lead me into the wholeness beyond all these parts. Do me a favor, my love. Let me rest in your embrace. Refresh me with the elixir of your wisdom. Ravish me with your truth. There is a comfort for me in the resonance of those words. There is a beauty, there is a luxurious sensuality that is also profoundly spiritual for me. The sensuality of the divine. And what I take most comfort from today in my vulnerable feeling space are these words. Do me a favor, my love, let me rest in your embrace. And just saying and hearing myself say those words, I get the sense of just being able to lean back into existence and be held. And that's such a beautiful feeling, and it calms me and it soothes me. The feeling of being held by existence. Refresh me with the elixir of your wisdom, and ravish me with your truth. Ravish me with your truth, yes. I mean, that is all that I've sought for years, is truth. And to be ravished by truth is just such seductive, delicious, opening prayer. I almost feel my inner self going down on her knees and just beseeching Shiva to ravish me with his truth. And also the earlier parts of the Banter verses here, 5 and 6. What is this power we call life, appearing as the play of flesh and breath? How may I know this mystery more deeply? Yes, craving, longing, yearning to know the mystery more deeply, more profoundly, because I know there's an infinite well of wisdom, an infinite well of truth, an infinite well of more understanding and depth of awakening and love to be felt and experienced. My attention is enthralled by a myriad of forms, innumerable individual entities everywhere, flashing into existence and fading away again. Yeah, before I was here, I was in the park and I had read the verses and I was looking and reflecting and feeling. My child was at an athletics meet, so I was at this big crowd of people, families, children, talking, food, racing, gunshots, as in the starter gun for the races, a lot of life. And next to that there was the bowling club and the elderly gentleman bowling and a glass of Foster's lager on the side. There were couples strolling through the park. There were swans and ducks swimming. Young people rowing boats on the lake. Shady-looking people in this kind of covered place, looking a bit dodgy, a little bit scary to me. And trees, beautiful pine trees, and beautiful plants that were dropping their petals onto the ground. So I was noticing all of this beauty around me, and at the same time I was feeling this sense of heavy-heartedness and disconnect, and yet an appreciation of this beauty and this life all around me, all these different elements of life. The children, babies crying, going into the cafe where it smelt of frying, and I didn't like the smell and I wanted to get out. All these different sensory awarenesses, and the cold, and the rain, and the breeze, and then the sun. Yes, all of that. And yeah, and she says, and I say, lead me into the wholeness beyond all these parts. And especially from that place today for me where I am feeling less connected to the whole than I normally do. That's really resonant, to lead me into the wholeness beyond all these parts. So a very different reading, a very different me, but a real me today. I hope you enjoy the beauty and the inspiration of these words. And I'll be speaking to you again tomorrow with more from the Radiance Sutras. Namaste and love.